What's up, my YouTube community? This is D the Firefly here. Today, I'm gonna take it real basic. Like I said, my channel is for everyone, beginners, advanced level, all of y'all. I'm gonna be talking about assets versus liabilities and what they mean in your financial life. I'm gonna look it up here. Just Google assets versus liabilities. First website that comes up says assets. They provide future benefits to your businesses. Liabilities are obligations to your business. The thing about financial literacy is that you have to think of your life as a business. You're the CFO or Chief Financial Officer of your life. You got to run your own budgets, you got to calculate your own expenses, and you got to make sure that you're keeping more than you're getting rid of. I'll definitely talk about saving in another video. The next thing it says here about assets and liabilities is that assets are depreciable, whereas liabilities are non-depreciable. Well, depreciation is when something loses its value. Like a new car. A new car is worth 50% of what you paid for it the second you drive off the lot. It's depreciating as you buy it. Doesn't mean it has to depreciate, but it can. Liabilities are non-depreciable. So if you get debt, which would be an obligation to your business, an obligation to pay someone back, debt is never going to get smaller. It's going to keep growing and growing. So not very depreciable. In my life, I like to think of liabilities as health risks. If you introduce a health risk to your life and you just don't get rid of it, that threat isn't gonna lessen itself, you know? I gotta wash my hands, you gotta bathe, you gotta do all that stuff, or else bacteria on your skin is just gonna grow. Bacteria won't grow away. That's kind of a gross example, but that's what I like to think of when I think assets and liabilities. Third, if an asset is increased, it would be debited. If a liability is increased, it would be credited. Oh yeah, that's just debits versus credits. That's, I don't know, financial speak. Assets can be classified under many types: tangible, intangible, current, non-current, fictitious assets, etc. Liabilities can be classified under current and long-term. That one kind of has me stumped, but I know what they're trying to say here. Assets, tangible assets like a house, intangible assets like an investment portfolio in the stock market. You can't grab your stocks. I mean, stocks used to be pieces of paper and you could grab them, but you can't turn paper into money. Our money's made out of cotton. I had to think about that for a second. Liabilities, current and long term. Yeah, you can have a current liability and then pay it off immediately. Long-term liability, I guess like a potential threat that's always looming in the background, or like the risk you take in business. Cash flow. Assets generate cash flow over the years. Liabilities flush out cash flow over the years. Cash outflow. Yeah, that makes sense. If you have a high interest savings account, more money is going to make you more money. It might not be as much as you want, but it will. If you have an investment account, over the years, you're going to make some money. It would be really hard to make zero money. You could sell, I guess, low, etc. No, there's ways to lose your money. Never mind. But yeah, if you do an investment account right, there's ways to make money over the long term. Real estate, etc., an asset over the long term. Cars are assets, but they're depreciating assets. They're losing their value really fast. It's not like real estate where you can flip it. I guess a car can make you more money by the fact that it gets you to and from work, but would not recommend it as an investment, that's for sure. Cash outflows over the years, for example, could be a car. You got to pay gas into it, you got to fix it up. Debt is a big one. That's the main one that always comes to mind for me. It's just owing people money. That's what it comes down to. You owe someone money, that's going to take out a lot of what you can earn. This is from an article called Wall Street Mojo. I'm definitely going to put the link down in the description. Check it out if you're looking into starting a business. I'm not looking to start a business other than the business of teaching you about assets and liabilities. So let's just run through some examples. Let's start with assets. Like they said, assets are things that are going to generate income into you over the long term. Starting a business. Say that you start a business and that business is going to make you money over the long term. That would be an asset. Say you put money in an account that can grow at 7 to maybe even 10% interest. That's going to be an asset. Say you buy a chimpanzee and you take this chimpanzee on the road and you do shows and you and the chimp have a long life together and you make money performing in the streets or something. The chimpanzee would be an asset to your life. Financially speaking, I mean, you can't downplay the emotional assets of, children, social connections, and all that. Now let's move on to liabilities. Liabilities create a source of cash outflow. A lot of debt in this one. Just, if you're a business, the bonds that you sell to people are going to be a liability because you got to pay people back at a certain interest rate. Credit card debt is going to be a liability. Student loan debt, car payments, in some cases paying rent if you can afford to buy a house. Rent could be a liability. You really got to check on the housing things. It's really personal at that point. Personal finance is personal. You got to check your own numbers. Now, why is this important? Well, if you're trying to build wealth in your life, you got to limit liabilities, and when you do spend money, make sure you only spend it on assets. You do have to be a little careful when thinking about things in terms of assets and liabilities. I have seen people get to the point where they stop eating a certain amount of food because, food isn't an asset. It's not going to bring cash flow into your life. Investing in your health is important, all right? If you're retiring early to die 2 years after, retire at 32, die at 34 because you didn't take care of yourself, that's no good. That's no good, man. Take care of yourself, take care of your health, physical, mental, nutrition, all of that. Also, be mindful when you're making purchases. I know the craze of minimalism was sweeping the nation at one point, and people would joke, does this add value to my life? But you really got to think about that when you're going out and buying stuff. Make grocery lists before you go to the store so that you know what to stick to and you don't end up walking out of the store with $200 of grocery bags going, what happened? That used to be me and my family, That used to be how it was, and there's no shame in it, but you just got to take a second and reevaluate what your priorities are. Yeah. A lot of this financial independence stuff is about delayed gratification, and I've gone way off topic. Assets and liabilities. If it's going to help you out, get it. If it's going to hurt you in the long run, don't get it. Think about what you need. Think about if you can delay this for a while, and, always sleep on it before you make a decision. Thanks for watching as always. Like, comment, subscribe. Do read the comments, and I appreciate you supporting me on this. I look to keep just pumping out these videos and doing my best. So, take care. Stay fire.